Are we? Is this thing on?
Hey, babe. All right. This is on. We are
Don't make me get
ready
giggly.
to go.
Don't make me get giggly. Okay, we're back. We're on. All right, let's get
Giggly's
situated.
good.
Yeah. Well, I'm very giggly today. It's sunny. It's nice weather. I'm grateful. Actually, let's just start off with a little. Let's start off with a little gratitude.
Yeah.
Grateful to be back in the groove this week. Grateful for my body bouncing back. Grateful for the good weather, and honestly grateful for the community because these guys were paying attention. Everybody out here, you guys, you're paying attention.
That's awesome. Yeah, I am totally grateful that the sun is out. And
It's gonna be 65.
I don't see any snow today. I think it's going to be 70, I think. Or is
What?
it 65? Oh, that's tomorrow.
We're going for a walk.
Well, all right.
Can we go for a walk?
Sure. We got a treadmill downstairs.
That's not what
I'll
I'm
walk
talking about.
next to you. Yeah.
Stop.
We'll go. We'll walk to the mailbox, see if anything showed up. I'm grateful you guys are back for another episode of Plantspiration Unplugged with John and Stefanie John, founders of the nonprofit Plantspiration, that we started to educate, motivate, and inspire people to go plant-based for their health, the animals, and the planet.
I can't believe that. We did.
Yeah.
People know us for losing 250 pounds as a family, breaking the diet culture, the system that kept us sick, and inspiring more people around the world to prevent and reverse disease, lose weight, and feel great. Welcome back. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share. I always have to remember to do that. I'm not in here thinking about that. I'm thinking, I can't wait to get talking about these little texts that we send to each other all week long. Like, we're going to talk about habits.
Well, it's like we're kind of chill, you know? So it's like, I don't want to be pushy.
I don't feel
like, subscribe, and share. Like, oh,
I get it.
I mean,
But
it is pretty cool. I mean, it helps us pay back to the community and really,
it helps.
you watching and listening helps us help other people. So,
well, it absolutely does. And it goes into, I know that I'm doing my own marketing. We're doing our own marketing.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Where I have to follow the information coming in, the trends that are coming, the stuff that's going on.
Well, you got to be aware of it.
I've got to be aware of it. So is that a trend? Like, subscribe, share? Everybody always says
Well, that's just the thing. Yeah, you got to do. I don't think
Everybody
that's
says it.
counted as a trend. We don't follow those really anyway. So
yeah, but I mean, and with everything that I do, I sometimes have to pay attention to them. But
yeah, you do. But we try to pretty much you're doing your own trend.
yes, I am.
You're beating your own drum or whatever's.
I'm the trendsetter. No,
Yeah.
sometimes people say that, and I want to say thank you. I agree. There are some things that I'm doing like that, but I think it's because I'm not into the trends.
Exactly. Yeah. Yep.
Like, I see these while we're here. You know, I see these trends. How does my sound sound?
Sounds good to me.
Okay, good. I see these trends and I want to be doing them, you know, like, for example, I got to be putting thumbnails on stuff and having this perfect picture. And, you know, then it's this way to do a reel, and then it's trending music, and then it's trending this. And every once in a while, if I have a minute, I'm like, oh, let me, you know, try to do this trend where I want to do the trend because then more people will learn about Plantspiration and getting in here and how awesome it is.
Right.
But then, you know, I start looking like, how are they doing these trends? You know, I get these emails from Meta or social media or whatever it is. It's like, or today I heard the latest trend is, you know, Instagram changed the whole algorithm, you know, and they're looking for more like stills. And I'm still trying to pick up on a trend from 3 weeks ago.
No,
I can't do it.
No. Well, it's not, you're just analyzing the trend. You're not really trying to do the trend.
Sometimes
We're understanding the trend. The trends would be like some people dancing or something.
Well, those are different trends.
And
Those
I'm
are,
like, yeah, no.
I do like those. Like, I think those are fun. Like, now
They
I'm
are.
doing it because they're fun, but we've been lip syncing and doing videos like that
Oh, yeah.
way before this social media stuff happened.
Yeah.
You know, we were doing stuff like that, but I'm talking about trends that influencers are using to gain followers, to gain business, I mean, that's smart. That's smart.
Well,
I
sure.
get it.
Yeah.
But when I see some of these trends, you know, here, one example.
Okay.
You see these great reels of recipes,
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
drop recipe. And I'm guilty of doing this trend. I've tried the trend, you know, put recipe in the, you know, and every time I go down and I look at the thousands of comments, it's all the word recipes. And the whole video is, I lost X amount of weight making these, or I did this, or I did that. So I'm always, curious, like, let's see the results of this place,
Right.
And a lot of the results say recipe, 500 words of recipe.
Yeah.
And then this wasn't as easy as it looks. There was a lot more work involved. It didn't taste as good, and I get it.
Oh, wow, I lost 20 pounds also.
I've never seen under that something like that, but I'm also not watching everything.
Yeah.
I'm seeing these things, how it's working, and I'm like, I'm looking for the trend of actually integrating this stuff.
Yeah.
Not try this recipe because we already have figured out that's not what did it.
Right.
It's not what does it for people.
No, it's not
a distraction,
trend.
I think.
It's not a trend at all.
I think it's sometimes a distraction.
Like the rest of your life.
Yeah,
doing
exactly.
This. It's not just some quick fix. It's not
a trend to breathe.
No.
It's like you got to, you kind
of got to eat too. So let's just change up what we're doing. We're not taking nothing away, just changing it up.
Well, I always have to ask myself, I guess, when I'm thinking about this, A, how much time do I have to put into it? Is it fun? Mm-hmm. If it's not, I'm probably not going to do it.
Yeah.
2, you know me.
Oh, yeah.
I will go based on that. Is this going to be fun? Is this going to get a great reaction from people?
What am I getting?
Is this going to help people want to get healthier? Uh-huh. Is it? And I get it. We drop recipes. It's absolutely. And some people are already here and they're looking for recipes. And I get it. There's billions of people who are already here and they just want recipes.
Right. But all that noise out there is for the people that are looking for the recipe. They think it's just this. Like, man, if I just had this one recipe, it'll do it for me. I'll really do it.
Well, it's also to join programs.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? They're putting this stuff out. So I know because that's how I'm watching these trends.
Maybe that's on purpose. People are like, oh, God, man, that's just like too much work or this or that. Or I miss or it's because it's just a quick video. Oh, a little dumping this, dumping that, boom, boom.
And they're awesome. They're mesmerizing to watch.
No doubt.
That's why they call it a hook.
Yeah, exactly.
And a trend. Because then everybody starts doing it. But I'm watching this trend of how many people are actually implementing it. How many people are actually losing weight from watching this recipe or doing this recipe. Well, that's what I'm saying.
Maybe that's part of it. Where it's like, well, if you join, then you'll, it's like, well, it's not one recipe. It's way more than food. Okay, let's just.
I've heard that a lot. I've been hearing that a lot from everybody this week. And you know what? And maybe somebody's listening to this for the first time, and I knew you were going to say that.
Clients,
where's everybody?
What are you talking about?
The Plantspiration group.
Yeah, exactly.
We're in here unplugged talking about what our life is like running a global nonprofit. I guess going against the trends of some of the stuff we're doing is why I think everybody's hearing us so much.
Sure.
It's
trendy to have, surf and turf.
It's what?
Yeah. We're definitely going against the system on that part.
Oh.
The animal. That's a trend, dude. We all grew up like that, eating the wrong stuff. Really. I mean,
is it a trend or is it a habit?
I don't know. Oh, that's something we'll have to dive into.
Well, I do want to talk about habits because it is kind of how we get into things. Yeah. We get these cues. We get these signals. Mm-hmm. So some people, I guess, could be in the habit of looking for that recipe, I guess we would say.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
If I just have this one recipe, then I can do this. I just need this one thing. Or or maybe my old habit was, well, I can't walk, so I can't do that. I just believed that.
Walking's a habit? Oh, thinking that you can't do it because
I think
your knees are wrecked. Yeah, you skipped on a lot of life.
But I'm seeing a lot of messages from everybody out there. This is what I think gets us back in here is these messages of people going, you're real.
Oh, yeah.
You're really doing it. I mean, there's a lot of people out there, and I love them all.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not dissing. A lot of people are giving information out there. They're sharing the information, or they're going, they're challenging the information. And I just kind of say every time I get everybody in class, how many of you know, how many of you are aware, and we don't even need to be in class.
Them.
Let's just ask you guys right here. Sit here for a minute and just think. How many of you are aware that you can prevent and reverse heart disease, diabetes, autoimmune, Alzheimer's, chronic disease? How many of you are aware that you can reverse these diseases? Because when I'm doing a class, is what I'm going to say, Every single person raises their hand, even new people who come in.
Yeah.
That's how they find me. They found out that the evidence is out there. We can prevent and reverse disease. So I skip right to it. Okay, great. Now that we all know this, why isn't it working?
Yeah. Why isn't everybody?
Why isn't it working? Don't you think some of it has to do with habits?
It's habits.
Because
And
we all have the recipes.
Exactly. And how to. Because we're cooking with old habits even.
This makes sense. We're cooking with old habits.
Yeah.
Habits. So before we got in here, for a couple of days, I was like, we're going to talk about habits. And then I said, I think we should talk about some of the old habits that we had. And they were bad habits. And when nobody had any trouble saying, that's a bad habit.
Yeah, wow.
But when we're seeing people eat, there's just so many ways to get into habits. But go ahead, say what you're going to say.
What do you mean, like habits? Like what? Like smoking or?
That's a bad
How
habit.
we going? Well, it's a bad habit, but.
But at one time they said that's a great habit.
Yeah, at one time doctors said, go for it, dude.
Think about that. I want everybody to think about that for a
Viceroy's
second.
a little easier on your throat, by the way.
Viceroys.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
That's how it was.
It was so much like that. I mean, it doesn't seem that long ago that they don't allow smoking even in public places. Like that let me look at when that ended.
It was 2008, because that's about when I started quitting smoking, because we couldn't smoke in the machine shop anymore. I think it was 2008. And I think I was done with them finally by, I don't know, 2010, something like that. I don't know, 2008, 2009.
Non-smoking became normal in 1960s, but not really.
Well,
it took off in the 80s and in 2000, which seems like yesterday, but it's not anymore.
Well, I'll tell you what, it was like 2008 or 2009 that all of a sudden you couldn't smoke in building, like in the machine shop and stuff. Yeah, something like 2008 or something.
Because you were still smoking.
Yeah.
We both smoked. I smoked too many cigarettes.
I smoked too long.
Yeah, you smoked for a long time.
Yeah.
And we knew that those were bad habits.
Yeah.
But we obviously would say, well, but I'm addicted to them. Or, then we had that reason, but we're addicted to them. And I get it. There is an addiction to it and it makes it hard. But when we start believing, and what are you thinking right now?
I'm just thinking about whenever there's a bad habit or something, or it is deep down inside, you're just finding anything to justify.
Is that how you guys feel listening to this? Is that how you guys feel listening to it? Because I know
takes the stress away, dude. Come on, man.
I think
what am I going to have along with my drink?
Yeah, how am I going to deal with that? You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was hard.
What would you say was one of your worst habits?
Well, that.
Okay, what else?
That. I'm not done talking about that.
Okay, keep
I want
going.
to talk about you. How did you quit? Let's help people with how did you quit smoking?
Me?
Yeah.
The last time?
Yeah. Of course.
Well, of course. That was a ridiculous
The last
thing to
time is the time. I mean, you quit every
here's
time
what
you put one out.
I actually just talked about this with somebody this week, I think, and I said, I don't know about you, but when people take stuff away from me, it makes my brain want to think about it even more. So if you say, don't eat this and you can't have this and you shouldn't do the cigarettes and you should quit. Like the more that you would tell me not to do that. I'm going to buy a
carton now.
My brain would be like, really? Watch me not do this. And I think that's relatable to so many people. So the way that I realize now, I didn't realize at the time when I was doing it was just a method that was working for me. But now I really understand this was more of an identity shift. Mm-hmm. Because when I decided to quit smoking, it obviously was on my terms, which is what I'm going to say for anybody who needs to do a change. It's got to be on your terms. You have to be ready to accept this.
This is with anything. That's why this really applies to everybody. Because
I know I was outside smoking my cigarettes going, I shouldn't do this, but I need this right now. And I'll do it tomorrow. I'll start on Monday. But then something happened that it was actually in March, I think. We did that one fundraiser. I said, I think I have bronchitis again.
Yeah.
I go and get some x-rays and the doctor came back and he said, how long have you had asthma? And I was like, dude, I don't have asthma. Mm-hmm. He's like, well, according to what I just seen and
Well,
heard.
according to these test results, you
like,
are
"You do."
positive. You are.
And
the
I
owner.
said, I'm going to quit smoking. And I actually have the paper.
I
If
remember.
it says patient states they will quit smoking. And that was about, is it 15, 17 years now? It's longer than that.
Something like that. When was that? That was probably 2010, I think.
I think you're right. So I had a full pack of cigarettes on me. And rather than throw them out, I kept them on me in the same state, in the same way. Actually, what I'm going to share with you is a very pivotal tool. So just like everything else, because alcohol was the next thing that I quit, and quit eating animals. So what I did with the cigarettes was very clear to me. Every time the thought of a cigarette came up, I had to address, like, this isn't good for you. Mm-hmm. You could have it if you wanted to, but you get to choose not to, because I'm somebody who doesn't smoke anymore. Like, I started envisioning myself as a non-smoker.
Yeah. Exactly.
I envisioned myself saying, no, thank you. I envisioned myself at the time I was still drinking, and I would think about what it would look like to just go out and not have a cigarette with it.
What were those triggers?
Everything.
I mean, because that's where it starts. You got to really identify what's going on.
We're being honest.
Is it a person? Is it the time of the day? Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Is it after every meal? And it's certainly with a beer?
It's all of the above. It was all of the above. These were
with a morning coffee, possibly even.
It was the coffee. It was the phone call. It was the
being awake.
It was running from the lions, talking about my stressful life, which just repeated. Then it was a habit. Then it was the time of day. Let's get one more in before the kids get home from school, because I didn't want them to see it or smell it.
Yeah. But that was one thing. We never smoked in the house. The garage only.
The garage only.
Or the car wasn't.
They couldn't evade it. They knew about it, and it was terrible. Like, I felt bad about it. And then that shame in itself, led into this vicious circle of, what am I going to do about that? And then I'm over here. Yeah, what you guys don't see is me
I'm stressed out about quitting smoking, so I got to smoke.
Well, don't you think in a way you made yourself believe I'm stressed? I had a doctor once tell me.
I mean, there are addictive stuff in there, the nicotine and all.
I'm not kidding you. I can name his name, but I won't. Dox him, is that what it's called?
I don't even know.
He told me now wouldn't be a good time to quit smoking because I'm so stressed out.
What?
Swear.
Who?
It was a guy out here in Crystal Lake.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm not going to say who it was, but holistic. Holistic. And I just was like, no.
You're like, no holistic.
That's
not.
I mean, I didn't say no. Hold on.
You were smoking at the time, or you weren't? Or
I was
smoking. You were
smoking.
going to quit, but you were talking about quitting?
I was like, I know I should quit smoking. And he was like,
yeah.
Be careful. It's a stressful time for you right now. And maybe now's not a good time to cut that off. And I just thought, I'm going to cut you off because even I know it's bad. So don't.
That's so messed up.
And I went home and smoked more cigarettes. And then I got the bronchitis. And I was like, I'm done. So I just said, I'm done. And every time I saw the cigarette, the thought, the time, the call, I was like, I'll just get through this day.
Yeah.
I even think I tried
but the thing
glass
was, you
of
did
water.
It's like when you're ready, then you can make the change.
But then it's dealing really with the habits.
To force somebody. Yeah. I mean, they have the strength to go through that, to change the habit.
It's all about the habit, being aware of the habit. Mm-hmm. So we can acknowledge it, but it's really about the awareness. And what we do is we tell ourselves this repetition, and you start believing the identity of, I'm somebody who smokes. Yeah. I just smoke when I'm stressed out. I smoke when I drink. I eat chips when I'm stressed out. I go back to my habits when I'm stressed out. Yeah. I am, or the way that I would.
Mine was more like on a schedule, working. You know,
tell me about yours.
It's like you smoke on the way to work, freaking break
habits.
Time. You got to just, get it when you can. And I mean, the whole time, I'm addicted to nicotine for sure. That was my thing. It wasn't like, God, this happened. I guess I would smoke if I was stressed, but it would be a break time by then. I'm smoking.
It was habits. So now your brain, now I understand the brain is just picking up these patterns. We can go back and look at them when we smoked and when we stopped drinking and when we changed our whole life. But what I'm saying is now I understand the pattern that came in and the cue to the brain and then the dopamine, the repetition, everything just started becoming, this is who I am. And this is how it would work. Where are we going to smoke when we go out? Where is it going to go? Like our whole life started revolving around how we smoked, how we drank, and how we ate.
Man, really? Seriously.
Doesn't that make sense?
I mean,
look at me. Isn't that crazy?
That is. That's what we did. That was it.
We're just, I can't believe people can change. You're not stuck.
Oh, for sure. I was just thinking about my identity as a smoker, and then I changed it to somebody that's addicted to nicotine. And how I got done with smoking, I used some gum. I used that nicotine gum.
And I was kind of hard on you for that.
I'm like, I'm not smoking, dude. Like, give me a chance. I've been smoking for like 25 friggin' years. It's going to take a minute.
I think you were smoking longer than that, but I was kind of giving you a hard time about that. I was like, that's just one more habit.
Well, I know. I was addicted to it, though, you see. I mean, the actual nicotine had a good hold on me. So it was like, okay, wow. This can calm my bitch tits for now.
I cannot believe
Then it took like a year to get off of the gum with just buying regular minty gum.
Because you kept telling yourself you needed it. You were addicted.
Well,
it was a habit at this time.
Something.
And addiction.
I'm telling you.
Those were expensive, too. Those habits are expensive.
If you can, don't do that.
Well, I guess people think that they're stuck in this. And I want people to realize there's a lot of habit forming going on. Every time you repeat the behavior, the neurons fire together. Sure, there's addiction in that, but let's go to other habits. Is there an addiction to nail biting? Is there an addiction to, I had to.
Oh my God, yes.
So,
and that is an addiction? No, I don't know.
It's a habit.
But
there's a reward. There is a dopamine to the brain. It is a soothing effect. It can calm you down. It can be something that calms you down.
Yeah.
So you do this habit, the repetition of it, then there's a reward, there's a dopamine. Then your brain ties the habit to doing more of it. And then it creates an automatic response.
And, by the time you look up, your finger's in your mouth and you're biting on your nail or something.
Yeah. How did you break this habit?
Well, just recently I broke it with getting aligners for my teeth because my tooth got so crooked I'm biting my lip. So I actually don't have them in right now because I got juice to drink. I don't want to stain them orange.
I don't know if these guys remember, but we were talking about your letter to the insurance company.
Oh, my God.
I thought you said.
I'm going to get an attorney. My gosh.
Because
you're too old for those. You don't need fixed teeth. I'm like, I think I look good enough to have crooked teeth. It's not about that. I'm like biting my lip like they're out of whack. I need a front end alignment, all right?
Yeah, we didn't even talk about how was your week with your first week of aligners.
It was great. This is actually second week, folks.
Oh, sorry.
I already had them on through the last podcast and all.
I've done them a few times.
Yeah.
I'm in the habit of not using them. But I'm glad you're not biting your lip and you're doing better.
No doubt. Yeah, not biting the lip, not biting my tongue. I mean,
this is why we brought this topic in. We were kind of like, look at how and
that's the one thing with habit. Yeah, you got to understand what it is. Try to replace the habit. I'm like, I'm not going to bite somebody else's fingernails. I got to do something different.
Ew.
Ew.
Don't say that. I mean, I'm
talking about what that relates to food, really.
What part?
They're changing out the habit.
The habit.
I mean, if you're like just stuck on a certain something, have an apple. Have a bite of an apple first.
So
eat that apple, and then if you still want the other thing,
seems simple.
Eat another apple.
You're saying it like it's really simple. And here's where I think. This is where people get confused or they get twisted. And let me break this down. Most people think they need more information. Okay. They're in the habit of eating bad food, or let me rephrase this. They want to eat healthier.
Yeah.
So here's where things get confusing. If you want to eat healthier, what do people automatically do? They think they need some information if they want to get healthier. Let's just say I need a recipe. Exactly. I need a book. I need
to scroll endlessly, looking for that golden nugget. It's going to do it.
You don't need more information is what we're going to tell you. Mm-hmm. You need to look at what you're practicing. And we kind of just spoke about that. We had to identify.
Yeah.
While I'm practicing at the same time every day, putting a cigarette in my mouth. I'm practicing at the same time every day to go to the refrigerator and get these things is this a habit?
Yeah. Are you hungry?
Or have you been practicing something that you need to change? Because there's also the habit of the identity.
Oh, yeah.
I was living in an identity, and I see a lot of this. I have this, so therefore I can't do this. Or this isn't working because I have this. I would walk in a room and be like, I'm Stefanie. I need double knee replacements. I have advanced osteoarthritis. I have this. I have that. I believed that I was going to stay that way, that was just my identity.
Mm-hmm. That was one of your parallel universes.
Can you explain that? Because I don't know what
you're just
saying right
not. Now. That was your world. That was your life. That was your direction. That's where you were, and you change your identity, and you're on a different playing field now. And I guess, roughly.
And I hear a lot of people I hear a lot of people do this. I have this. I have this.
Yeah. It's real easy to...
And it's true. It isn't that you don't have it. I'm not minimizing it.
No. But a lot of times it does take over your identity.
It takes over. It took over my identity for sure when I just would say, I have these diseases and, this is who I am. Yeah. And when I started realizing even that was a habit, the way that I was talking to myself, the things that I was making myself believe. Look at how I would say I can't walk. Which was true. Like, I'm not trying to be confusing, but I truly believed like this was never going to get better.
Man, that's a lot to take in, really.
But I believed it.
I know, and that's what you were doing. You couldn't walk. You were saying it. Your brain was taking it in. Your body, how you felt, like
it was a lot. But
well, I hold on now. But even though you were that hurt and everything and that sick, you really took on everything though, still. As a mom, wife, taking care of the kids. Well,
I was just living life. I just thought it was supposed to suck. I just was like, I guess this is just going to suck. I can barely walk around. Damn, I couldn't go prom dress shopping with my kids. No, I get it. It's because
that was just, I guess life is supposed to suck.
That's what I just thought. It's hereditary.
Yeah.
It's hereditary that life is going to suck. It's hereditary that I'm going to get obese and that I'm going to have heart disease and that I'm going to be crippled or not be able to walk around because that's the things that I believed.
Yeah.
And also it was like labels. I just believed these things. I can't walk. I can't do this. I can't go out here. I mean, look at how much I know you're taking it in right now.
All these signs like down your road. It was like a sign here. You can't do this.
I became that person.
I
became that person. I can't do this. I can't do that. It's because of this. It's because of this. And when we keep up that
right there was your definition of who you were.
And I see people doing it all the time.
Yeah, and it sucks. I mean, it's just something we do.
This is what I get fired up about because I live this. It's
not your fault.
Yeah,
really.
It's not your fault. We're not stuck in those places.
Right.
But we start believing it because we've practiced that for so long, year after year after year. It goes into a diet form in my life. It goes into depending on doctors. And I'm not saying they're not great and that we don't need them. But my life and that identity of being sick relied on somebody else telling me how to make it better.
Yeah.
It took away my ability.
It was you were handing your power over to any doctor or whatever that is gonna help you out.
Yes.
You were looking for that golden nugget's gonna fix you.
So
You asked all the time, what is it? Why do I have this? What, they really, a lot of times they didn't, with like dietary type stuff, they weren't. I mean, your knees was like, well, your knees are this or that. And it wasn't like, if you lost some weight, your knees would feel better. Hey, great idea. No shit.
I
like how
just
they never
listening
got
to this, the years that this just progressed of my life, of my identity, of being somebody that was sick, and I relied on them to be able to fix it for me. I believed this over and over and over. And while you were talking about my knees, this started at the age of 27 when I did my first knee, my meniscus. It was a whole repair. It wasn't just like a little tear, cut it out and get out. We came out and they were like, you told me what he said when he came out of that, like what bad shape I was in at 27.
He's like, she's going to need knee replacements by the time she's 40.
So let's think about that for a second.
He was right on.
He was right on. Now, did that happen because I identified with that and I believed it and I just was going down that road?
Oh, I don't know. Your knees were that bad at the time. So in your current condition, if you keep on the same road, by the time you're 40.
Hold up, stop.
What are you talking about?
You're on the right path. You're doing exactly what I want.
Well, we were on the wrong path.
No, you're saying exactly what I was there believing, seeing, and thinking. But we know differently today.
Yeah.
Because my knees are technically 10 times worse than they were at 27.
I wouldn't believe they'd be worse.
They're worse.
At double their age.
They're worse at double their age.
Don't say that.
You don't say that. But why am I more mobile and more active and more healthy right now and not feeling any pain?
Well, even though you're double your age, you're half your weight. Even more than
I wasn't that overweight then. I was about 200. Okay, that's a lot more than that. That's not what I mean.
No.
It wasn't at my heaviest. I hadn't been. I had already accomplished my heaviest, though. Hold on.
Oh, that was an accomplishment, folks.
Well, what I mean in terms of my heaviest was about 280 pounds.
My God.
So
that had to hurt.
I am not a tall person. So I was 278 at my heaviest.
How tall are you?
Like 5'2".
You used to be 5'3", but all that weight just
I think I'm
you down.
6 feet tall, though, in my head.
Okay.
So when people ask me that, you saw me, I was like, oh. Because every time people see me in person, the first thing they say is...
I've been there. Oh, my gosh. I thought you were a lot taller.
Everybody tells me that first. I thought you were so much taller. You look so tall on TV, or you look so tall on, YouTube. I'm sitting down. How do you know? Or in class, I should say.
That's why you bought them Booster Converse.
Those are awesome.
Those are like...
You don't tell my secrets. So let's just say he tells me I'm going to need knee replacements by the time I'm 40. And I just start believing that.
Well, yeah.
I just started believing that. But what if somebody would have said back then what I needed to hear today, what I heard today? If you just make some dietary changes, stay active, you could avoid all that.
Right, but you're not just handing them the bill and sending them home. You're going to direct them of how to do that.
Well,
that's inside Plantspiration, everybody.
It is, but I'm just imagining what that would have been like if somebody would have given me this information then and said, you wholeheartedly could heal your body.
I couldn't even imagine that.
You are not stuck here. You can get better.
Administration would be pulling a doctor out of here like, you're fired. You can't tell this person that.
What was that?
Yeah, seriously.
Say it again.
What? The administration at the hospital or wherever, doctor, they'd be pulling the doctor out of there. You can't tell anybody that.
Yeah.
Well, they're not going to come back.
So I wish somebody would have said that to me then. Oh, don't worry about this. There's something that we can do. You don't have to live like this. Some of this is normal. We can make some changes and you could live a very full, productive, long life.
Yeah,
I guess.
It wasn't like that.
And then on top of it, we're surrounded by all these habits. So there was
no
a
doubt.
lot there. What I guess I want to say is if you're out there listening right now and you're feeling so stuck, man, I can't get this down. I want to get healthier, but I have these issues, but I have this, but I have that. I'm not denying any of those things. You have them. I had all those issues. I had all those medical conditions. Those were real.
And they have a pill for every single one.
Well, I thought that was going to be what was going to make this better. But then as time went on and the more we were reading up on stuff, I was like, you know what? This seems like a Band-Aid.
You know what?
But I didn't know how to fix the problem.
No doubt. No doubt.
Now I see it as a plumber. You know, you have a leaky faucet. What do you do?
Yeah. Call a plumber.
Well,
Oh, you're already the plumber. Okay.
well,
I'm following.
the point is, if you have a leaky faucet, everybody here has had a leaky faucet, right? And what do? Do you keep
Hey,
mopping
grab the
it up
mop. Grab the mop.
every
we
day?
got a leak.
You don't come home every day and keep mopping it up and keep mopping it up and keep mopping it up.
No. You get it fixed.
You get it
fix the
fixed.
leak.
So nobody's really out there talking about fixing a leak. No. I guess we're out there talking about that.
They want to just sell you mops.
Yeah, or recipes.
Oh, that's the mop in the food world.
That is the mop in the food world, where here, what we've been realizing is it's about habits.
Oh, yeah.
And breaking those habits.
Big time.
And how to break those habits when they're so ingrained.
I
Dieting
tell you
habits.
The dieting habits, I'm just about to say it's, excuse me, way more than the food. I mean, it's a lot of...
It's all we lived by. We were born under dieting habits. Start drinking milk at 1.
Yeah, wow.
Start eating, giving your baby food when they're little. So not only are these learned behaviors, now many of these things have just become ingrained habits, thinking that we need these requirements as we get older. You know, to lose weight, the requirement is, ding, 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 everybody out there, what number comes to mind? This is a habit. What number comes to mind when you think about, I have to go on a diet and lose weight?
What number? Plantspiration's phone number.
No. Oh my gosh, you're on a roll today.
What number?
I'm talking about calorie restriction comes in when we're talking about diet.
How many calories should you have?
So this to me is a habit. It's a habit to think that if we're going to lose weight, we need to cut our calories.
Yes. Well, isn't it what you hear? Oh, you got to cut your caloric intake.
You got to cut your calories. You got to cut back. You got to do this. You got to go on you got to go on the keto diet. You got to do this diet. You got to do in the cabbage soup diet. Those are habits that continue to loop.
That is a super duper confusing part for in front of all of us forever as they plan the whole RDA, recommended daily allowance of all this shit on a 2,000 calorie diet. Okay. So what's cutting your calories going to do? You're going to have less and less of all those nutrients. Okay. But when it's really, you got to cut your calories because everybody's gorging themselves or eating the wrong stuff and it's way higher in calories. So reducing your calories is bringing it down to 1,800, 2,000 calories. That's reducing your calories.
Yes. Okay. In our world.
From the standard American, what are we eating? Oh, geez, sorry. It was rough.
I'm getting annoyed that you do that.
Okay. Well, I'll beep that out.
Okay.
Jeez. It's all good. Huh. Well, that's how I get worked up about it.
I get it.
The system and what it did to us.
The typical calories are recommended to lose weight are 1,200. It's just ingrained. And that's a pattern that I see. I guess the habit that I see for people is that they want to eat just 1,200 calories a day and that they lose weight. So what I'm saying is this habit gets so ingrained that when people are trying to eat more plants and get more nourishment and more volume, I watch that pattern come in of everybody is so used to cutting. That's a habit of cutting back, malnourishing. Whereas to try to break that habit, that's a big deal. That's a big deal to create a different habit of eating more, to lose more, to nourish, to flourish, to feel better.
Because a lot of that is we weren't in the habit of feeling full.
There's a lot of that too. Well,
with the right kind of fuel.
There's so many. The
fiber is way different.
There's so many habits of dieting, though. But you're right. And then when people feel full, they think that that's a sign of they've done something wrong, like gluttony.
Yeah.
And then you spiral from that alone. So, and it's a lot. There's a lot of deep conversation on habits and how they start. And some of those, I guess, some of the habits that I'm thinking about, it's just, oh gosh, I'm just going to say this. I had a habit of eating Lucky Charms at 2 a.m.
Yeah. Wow.
I had a habit like that. It wasn't just smoking, you guys. It wasn't just drinking. There were food habits that came into our life. Like, think about this habit. When you're stressed out, what do? You go
to some
that's going to make
thing.
you feel better.
Yeah.
It's learned, but it's also a habit that we've gotten into. And breaking those habits can be done. We're not stuck. But I'll tell you what, it's not going to be with a recipe.
No.
It's not going to be with something like that. It's going to be with skill power, not willpower. We don't white knuckle it over here. I guess it's why we're talking about, we're seeing so much change in this community. I'm so impressed. So much awesomeness. So much is happening. I haven't been able to keep up with a lot of stuff.
Well, I took some notes from the Plantspiration Health Report.
Let's hear it.
Let's just get right into that.
So this health report is what we come together in here to talk about every week. Every week, Plantspiration members are logging in and they're talking about how much easier this is getting. You know, how habits are, how they're practicing their habits, and how all of these amazing things are happening so that they can get into this new identity of people who eat their plants off, prevent and reverse disease, lose weight and feel great. And so this is brought to you by Plantspiration members. They're crushing it. And John is going to read the health report. I get to hear this stuff during the week.
I know you hear it, and then I hear it on Saturday support group.
People are breaking habits over here left and right. They're breaking unhealthy habits and they're bringing in healthy habits left and right.
Seriously. I could probably save a little bit of time and just not write this down every time, because I hear and read the same things with more energy,
Tell me.
less cravings. People are, it was funny because they said they, replaced their cravings with more apples. You were talking about eating more apples. So that's great. Less medicine, more water, people feeling great, people getting moving, and better sleep and better labs. And on their smallest hole of their belt. Right.
I love this. Another person needing new belts. And by the way, we've got a non-leather belt in our Amazon store. I'll put that in the links.
Nice.
We have an Amazon store with that in it. So
you know what I should put in there? Also a hole puncher, for a belt hole puncher.
Because we did a lot of hole punching in our belts, and it's something I recommend to people. Yeah, that's actually what I have to recommend.
It
to
was
people.
worth it.
Because I have to say, sometimes you're going to need to keep buying clothes as we do this. I mean, we've got somebody who's down 86 pounds.
Yeah, come on. That's great.
I was like, you don't go buy a new wardrobe. I tell people, just hold on, because you're going to still keep crushing this. That's the kind of stuff I get to tell my clients.
I know.
Don't buy new clothes yet. You're going to need to keep doing this. This is just one step. But anyway, keep going. I can't wait to hear this.
She checked in before. So like, I have to buy smaller pants again. Last week, remember?
Yeah. I was like, I wore this. I had to
awesome.
buy a new pair of pants every couple months.
Heck yeah.
That's how we roll.
People are just doing great. And they checked in with a whopping.
Wow, he's getting the claps ready for this.
Last week was
2,490 pounds.
Yeah, and this week is 2,516.3.
Shut up, you guys are amazing. I'm
2,516.3 pounds, and that's amazing. You guys are
I have to ask
awesome.
you guys something right now.
Kicking butt.
Everybody listening to this, I just want to say thank you. We're in here having a good time. We thought, hey, let's just start this podcast so that we could tell everybody every week how great they're doing and spread the love. But let me ask you this. I'm going to ask, how many other places are keeping a weekly run-in total of success? This is because of you, Plantspiration members.
That's right.
Getting in here and taking on that new identity as somebody who doesn't diet anymore. Taking on that new identity of, I'm somebody who does this, because every single person that comes in here, including us, everybody, including you guys out there listening, we all used to say, but I can't. But I need a recipe. I'll start on Monday.
Hey, I'm a meat and potatoes guy.
I deserve this.
Yeah.
I deserve this. I worked hard all week.
You deserve to feel what, clean fuel feels like.
This is how
people are just really cranking it.
They've
taken charge of their health.
Life changes.
They're done putting the power in other people's hands.
Yeah, we're showing them we can take care of ourselves with the right tools. We can get through stress. We can get through bad times. We don't have to keep defaulting to the habits that keep us sick, to the habits of, I have an identity of somebody who can't do this, or I'll start on Monday.
Yeah.
Here's where we are tracking the progress of all this success. mean, of course, we're here to entertain you, but we're also here to help change your life.
Yeah.
It can be done.
It can be done.
We're not stuck.
I mean, I didn't even fathom the thought of living differently and like feeling fan-freaking-tastic. Because I felt like terrible before.
I just, look at my mind, just left the body because I just went, well, you know what I thought about just now when you were saying that? I came back to just that picture of you holding the waffle maker, the butter. You were working from home. You were easily 50 pounds more overweight.
Yeah.
And we wanted to be the happiest, healthiest people we could be. That's all we were doing every day was dieting.
Yeah.
But now it's just a whole new arena of like reality, facing the things, those habits that kept us stuck, and now understanding how they got that way. And I just want to share with people, it can happen. You can make those changes, but it's very hard to do it in isolation.
Oh, totally.
It's very hard to do it when you don't have a community of people doing it with you.
No, it's so hard to do on your own, for sure.
If you've been telling yourself, this is just who I am, that... I want you to question that.
Yeah.
I want you to question that because I really believe that's just who I was. I really believed I was somebody who was just dumb. Okay. Because I heard a lot of that. I really believed I was somebody who just had chronic disease.
Yeah.
I really believed that this was as good as it gets. And I really believed that I would need a knee replacement by the time I'm 40, that I needed medication to get by every day in life, and that I couldn't change these things that I was told I inherited, which were really habits that I inherited.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think that's where everybody else can possibly relate. We inherited these habits. That's how we get these diseases, this sickness, and this inability to take care of ourselves because we start relying on other people to do it for us.
Yeah, wow. So true. That's powerful.
It took a whole episode for us to kind of talk this out to get to this part of why I get so excited to come in here and share what we're doing, and I just want to thank everybody.
Heck yeah.
I just want to thank everybody. If this episode hit you, don't just listen. Come practice these new habits with us.
Yeah.
Because they feel great.
Definitely. Subscribe and share.
Even when life isn't going great, as you've been watching this journey of us in this podcast room, we can keep on going and getting through these things without falling into those bad habits that kept us so sick to begin with.
Totally, my God.
I can't say anything else.
I got more habits to get rid of. Is swearing.
Oh, man. We're going to have to cut that part.
That's all right.
It's okay, though. I'm being honest. That's all.
Right.
It's all right. There's nothing wrong with that.
We'll
We're real people. We love you guys. Thank you so much. By the way, we're almost at 100,000 subscribers, which I think by the time this hits, we might be. And I want to say thank you so much to everybody for all your love and support. We volunteer our time so that you have more time. I guess I'm just going to say that because that's what people are saying.
Go enjoy your life.
Yeah, don't forget to drink some water and text somebody you love. We love you guys.